get to test a lot of cool guns on this channel. Now, sometimes they're just loaners and sadly they go back to their own owners or something. However, there's several that have turned out to be in my daily rotating carry, or here's a more accurate representation. If I have to go and grab something, what's it gonna be? And I've narrowed it down to about 4 that we have on the table. So a lot of this has to do with self-defense though. So if you're one of those guys that likes to avoid danger and save lives and protect your family, then our video sponsor is for you, the USCCA, and they provide members with tools and training and legal protection for those who choose to carry. First, they enable their members to be mentally prepared with tools like their Protector Academy and Concealed Carry magazine. And they enable their members to be physically prepared through training videos and even in-person training courses. And finally, the USCCA members are legally protected by receiving self-defense liability coverage. So if you're interested in that, we will have a link that you can go check it out and become a member of the USCCA yourself. So the first gun we will talk about right now is the Canik MC9 Prime. We have a video on this probably just a month ago, but it has rotated into my outside the waistband open carry gun. And mainly there's one really good reason. It's accurate and with a fantastic trigger. As a marksman, I like to show off at times, and I want to be able to hit that target out to 300 yards with a handgun, and this one enables me to do that. I had this handgun for a while and I was just using it as a platform to test optics, and then when I was able to just keep being more and more accurate with it, I was like, okay, I really like it, and so that is why it is now like my open carry gun. And if it's a concealed carry, I have a Works rig. This is their Bisect, and it's compatible with a backup magazine as well. However, it's more my open carry because it's such a rough texture and a large grip. It doesn't conceal carry too well, which leads us to the concealed carry pistol of my choice. I've been carrying the HK-CC9. 100% reliable, something I know I can trust my life to. Now, since it's winter time and we're having almost 12 hours of darkness and nighttime all the time, I put a TLR7 sub on this light because I just want to be able to see what I shoot at. I'm out in the boonies. There's no street lights. When it's dark, it's dark. It's outfitted with a Hollow Sun EPS carry. I did have a little issue with the EPS carry after I carried it a bunch and my little pressure pad rubber portion came off, which would pretty much only affect how you could push the buttons or if it was kind of waterproof, but Hollow Sun replaced the entire optic right away. So this is a KSG holster. They hit me up and wanted to send a sample, and they had one that fit the Streamlight, so that was cool. Otherwise, I do have a Works Bisect for it. It's just doesn't have the light. Now we go on to rifles though, and that is what this backpack here is for. There is actually a full-size-ish rifle right here. This is my Fold AR, and it has been just part of my truck gun with this little backpack right here. Notice first there is a med kit. This is the Dark Angel Medical. Make sure you have that on part of your EDC gear, but I have a 300 Blackout SBR right here. Now I'm using it on a LaRue lower just because I already had that as the SBR, and these Fold ARs are just really legit on how they fold, and they're in a compact design. So this, I believe, is about a 9-inch barrel for the 300 Blackout. It unfolds just like that and clips into place, and now you're ready to go just with that little bit of extra motion. This is the AB Raptor 10 suppressor. It's super lightweight. This is the Hollow Sun 503 CU that I keep on it on a LaRue mount, and it's pretty beat up. But Hollow Sun gave me this optic maybe 10 years ago, and they're like, oh, we want you to check this out. I was like, okay, sure. And I literally zeroed it on my rifle, and then I beat it on a fence post. And I was just like, is it going to keep zero? And it has. And I'm still using it today. We also have the Hydra Thermal on here because out here at the range, there's going to be times I may just want to do an impromptu night hunt, and this Hydra just clips on and it will swing out of the way. Now in the setup, it's not like used as a clip-on mode, which is why I have a LaRue mount on the red dot, so I can take it off and in case I want to use it for the thermal, but this still folds up and swings to the side so I can fit it all in a backpack as is. But I know you're wondering, does this actually keep zero when it's being folded and unfolded in a bag? We're going to reposition the cameras and see if it does. Remember, we just pulled this optic off and put it back on. We're going to swing our Hydra out of the way so we can shoot. We have 110 VMAX in here. I usually use I think it's 110 Barnes, but I'm running out of those, so we're just going to go with this. We're at 100 yards right there. I pulled that last one high left. Okay, let's try the Buffalo at 160. Nice. Okay, there's a LaRue knockdown at 160. Looks like a dude kneeling. Okay, we're looking okay. Let's try the 260. I'm gonna aim just a little high. Cool, and that's with taking it apart and putting it back together. So let's discharge this one last one, and I want you to hear what it sounds like with subsonic. I'm gonna just aim a little higher. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, it's better than I remember. I'm used to shooting like a single shot, and that's better, but I want to hear it again. That's cool. Let's just shoot fast. Sweet. Okay, that's pretty fun. We can change our calibers even easier than you can changing a normal AR. So I'm going to take my QD swing stud off here. Our bolt's open. That's the main thing. We're going to pull this lever, and now it comes apart. And this is what's the beauty of this fold AR. Is it's got this taper that fits into the cone of their upper receiver there, and that's what makes it so accurate and reliable and strong. And so what I used to do though, I used to put my red dot optic back here. You can actually see the witness mark. But then once I got another barrel, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm going to put it on the front, and it's not on the front rail. The rail's up here. This is actually like the barrel nut, where the barrel's mounted to the back receiver. So in fact, this ought to be more precise and sturdy. So we can take off our 300 blackout barrel right there, and we can put on our 5.56 upper. And so this is just a single pin. So normally on an AR, you'd have 2 pins, right? And then we're locked into place. Now this little Ranger band is kind of just a little hack because you have to put some pressure down there. So it allows you to do the swap a little faster if you need to. So this is a full 16-inch 5.56 or 223 Wild, and this is a Griffin Armament dual lock 5.56 can. And this, when you take off the suppressor, I need to put the lock on it there. When you take off the suppressor and fold it in half, which we should have done this earlier, it will actually still fit in the backpack. And so that is the neat part of that fold AR. And so we'd have to take the suppressor off, which is not something I always like to do. But since we have our own optic on it, we're good to go. In fact, though, when I first got the second barrel for this, I found that it was pretty darn close. You didn't have to re-zero if you didn't want to, but I like being a little more picky. 5.56 for 5.56. Let's make sure we don't do that 300 blackout mix up, or if we do, that we do it on camera. So. All right, sling is longer. All right, same thing. We're gonna go through the same thing again. We're gonna shoot 100 yards. That was me, I missed right. There we go. When I do my part, the rifle does its. All right, let's go 160 at the Buffalo. All right, let's do that LaRue knockdown. But let's see at 260 if we can get that. Well, that was no problem. All right. And I didn't put my ear pro in. I'm impressed. Finally, one rifle I keep handy is a Quiet 22. This is, well, it's not a 1022. Technically, it's the 1122 by Fletcher Rifle Works. We've got a whole 2 videos actually on this. And the beauty of it is you can pull this cover off to clean your bolt, remove your bolts, clean inside the receiver, because 22s in particularly, especially suppressed, get filthy, and this makes it easy to clean. And when we like to shoot a lot, that's part of it, and it's in a takedown setup as well. Now the suppressor I have on this is nothing special. In fact, since I just keep this around so much just to kind of beat up and use when I need to, this is my least favorite suppressor. This is just Gemtech Outback 2D. We've got a video or 2 on it. Is Gemtech still in business? Oh yeah, they got bought by Smith & Wesson, and now the service is even worse. However, we do have it all together here. I put a forward mount on this just because, again, it made sense, just like this rifle, that since the barrel's what's shooting the bullet out, if we mount our optic to it. And of course we have extra 3 mags in the buttstock, which gives us 40 rounds in a nice little package. But it's nice and quiet, and that's what I like, because sometimes there's been times I needed to shoot something, but I didn't, just because the gun was going to be too loud. But with this, pretty quiet, so let's just shoot. Let's try to connect at 260 so you can hear how quiet it is. Oh crap, I hit it right off the bat. Still quiet though. Oh, that one went high. Okay, so now let's just play. Sweet. All right, 10 rounds goes fast, but nice and handy. I can't emphasize the importance of a 22. A good 22 that's just handy, shoot, you use it right, it'll do almost everything you need. So again, this is just kind of my go-to favorite, gets used the most rifles. So what are your favorite, guys? What's your go-to? You can throw that down in the comments. Thanks for watching today. Okay, I love you, bye-bye.